Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mr. Sports. I am Zander Frost.
I'm Andrew. Lynn.
Andrew what? There it is. There it is.
No,
Hi, guys.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. Look it up.
Hey,
you know?
hey. If you don't know, look it up.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So
Brought to you by Google.
This podcast is brought to you by Google. We locked down.
Yeah.
Pretty cool that we locked down Google, wouldn't you say, Andrew?
Without even an episode, one of the biggest companies in the world has decided to sponsor us.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're trying to be like Spotify and kind of take over the audio market, and they keyed in on Mr. Sports to sort of be their launch pad. So if you buy a Google Mini right now, this episode's already going to be on there.
Yeah.
So thanks.
This episode comes preloaded now on every Google Mini you buy.
Mm-hmm. And it's just going to start playing randomly during the day, right?
Yeah, you won't have any control over it, but Google knows you'll like it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So, hey, thank you. Praise be.
Praise Google.
Praise Google. So, guys, we're coming at you hot here with a Praise G. Praise G. Praise G's. We're coming at you with a little midweek NBA roundup. We're currently recording this at 8:30 p.m. Wednesday Pacific time, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. So that means most of the games are done for the day, except we've still got Bulls, Kings, and Clippers, Warriors unresolved. Just so you know where we're at time-wise in case something big changes. So
well, real quick
yeah.
prediction. I'm gonna bet that the Clippers win 113 to 109.
Okay.
And the Kings, I bet, are gonna win 124 to 97.
I think the current scores of both those games are going to hold. So I think 62-60 is what the Clippers is at right now with 7:34 left in the third. I think it's going to be final 62-60. I think it's going to be a lockdown fourth quarter. And then I think Kings Bulls, I think that's going to stay 75-68 too. I think that's going to.
You're right. And I want to add, because I think you might be right, but I think in the Clippers game it's going to be because of pure lockdown and good defense. But I think in the Kings Bulls, it's going to be more symptomatic of like a bad offensive strategies and not necessarily the defensive potency of both teams.
Wouldn't it be crazy if we were right? You know,
if we were right, people would just not think that this was real.
We promise.
Look at my phone. It says 8:31, as you can see, 8:31. So,
you don't have a copy of today's paper or something?
I do.
Today's
but that could be
evening
any
edition.
Time. Yeah,
that's true.
I give tomorrow's crossword, which means it's at least, but it needs to be early. I don't know, man. The paper thing, I don't get the logic on it anymore. It's dead technology.
Hey, my dad runs a newspaper. Be careful what you say. So
yep,
this is a pro.
Edit that out.
We're gonna do a little midweek NBA roundup here. We got we're about 8 or 9 games into the season here, so it's a shortened season, so we're starting to get a little bit of a vibe for where some teams are at. Obviously, still pretty early here. Let's just run through. We had some big news break tonight. Markelle Fultz tore his ACL and is done for the season. Pretty big bummer, I would say, Andrew. Huge bummer.
Yeah, just really. He's just like Kurt. At this point, it was like things were finally coming together, and then he tears. I mean, thank God he signed that contract.
Yeah, I know.
Although I guess the Magic don't really care if you have a torn ACL; they'll lock you up. But
for the Magic, honestly, that's part of the contract. He might have been
maybe they knew that was like
obligation.
Scheduled. Yeah.
I mean, but I gotta say, like, first of all, for Fultz, I mean, that dude has had a tough career. Seems like a good dude, and like finally this year, they like the Magic have been popping off. The Magic are top of the East,
like 6-2.
6-2, yeah. I mean, it's early, but the Magic usually make the playoffs. Like that's not totally inconceivable that they're a little bit better this year. And Fultz was a big part of that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't claim to have watched a minute of Magic basketball, but it seemed like Fultz was doing pretty well down there. He was actually like hitting threes.
Yeah, he had slowed down a little bit the past couple games, but he was averaging like 14 points and like he was playing well, and they were looking like a good team. So I mean, obviously it's like I just feel like when I saw that, it's like, of course, like,
yeah,
this is the worst person this could happen to. Somebody who had like just finally figured it out. It's just bummer.
Did you ever watch? I don't know. I think I was telling you this the other day, but when he was like the projected first pick, I mean, I never watched him in college, and I watched his like highlight reel on YouTube, and it was so boring.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly a. I mean, everybody swore by him, but that team didn't even make the tournament.
I don't get it. Like, yeah, I didn't get what the hype was. Everyone's like, he's the next James Harden. Now, I won't claim that I like knew he was going to be a bust. I was like, I don't know, but I just watched this highlight reel, and it was just like Markelle with a layup. It was like, oh wow.
I don't know if you feel this way, but like projecting draft picks is like, I have no idea. Like I've deluded myself into thinking I understand other things about basketball, but I have no idea how to project it's like, who the hell knows? You know,
I don't think anybody does. People in NBA make millions of dollars, and if you look at top 10, top 15, it's such a fucking crapshoot.
It just seems like there's too many factors. It's like calling people busts also seems a little ridiculous, because it's like all those Kings players that were drafted that all turned out to be busts. You're telling me that's all their fault? You know, like, it's not. It's like,
so much is organizational. Yeah, same with football. Like, where does the quarterback go?
Yeah, because I was thinking about it. I was like, if I got drafted and I really wanted to work hard and like be really good, what if the team just like didn't have good coaches? Like, you know, people that were like teaching you you couldn't get better, at least during the season, right? Unless you
only the undeniable people will be undeniable. But someone like Kawhi Leonard, it's like, if he doesn't go to San Antonio and get this awesome coaching and like
Chip Engelman
how to shoot threes, like, what is he?
Yeah, totally. And I definitely like, so anyway, you just feel bad for Fultz, because it seemed like, he looked like a starter. He looked like he could play,
Yeah, and, but I don't think was Philly related. It seems like he just would have been bad.
Oh, you mean in the beginning? Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I think I don't know what happened with him.
He had the yips, right? Like, or something. Mm-hmm. It's still not clear to me if he really had a neurological thing or if it was, I
think it's both. You get in your head about it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's too bad. There's on top of that, there's a Killian Hayes injury. I don't really know. I don't think we have a good idea yet what that's going to entail. It says he's out indefinitely with a torn hip labrum.
That sounds bad. Like,
it does.
A couple months, right?
I mean, I have no idea. I wish I really have been meaning to learn more about hip labrums, but I haven't been able to,
See, and here I am. I was like, I'm not excited that this happened to Killian, but this is Xander's chance to finally do that hip labrum stuff he's been working on, and now
I've been hyping myself. And
yeah, you know what? Let's make an edit point here. We're going to cut this part out because this is pretty embarrassing for you. So, 1, 2, 3. All right,
and cut.
Yeah, but no, that sucks. But also Detroit's. I mean, they're going nowhere. They're truly terrible. I mean, and did those contracts they signed in the offseason, are they like more than 1 year? Are they kind of wrapped up?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, they're dude, those are like multiple year, like the what's his name? Big boy.
Plumlee.
Plumlee. That contract's multi-year, and so is the Jeremy Grant contract. Now, I don't hate the Jeremy Grant contract, but they got to move Jeremy Grant. I'd say, like, he's not going to be good on them. I mean, isn't he getting $20 million a year? I'm pretty sure he's getting $20 million a year.
Yeah, he is. But Denver was offering him $20 million. I guess he just wanted to go to the Pistons and
he's averaging 23 points a game.
I think he's doing good, but if you're like on a horrible team and you're pretty talented,
that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like Jeremy Grant, it's like,
oh, they can trade him.
That they need to trade him, but like the Plumlee one, it's like, well, I don't know
Yeah.
Why would, like, I don't know.
But they didn't sign Christian Wood. And now Christian Wood's fucking balling.
But we all knew Christian Wood was going to ball this year.
Yeah, I don't. Who runs the Pistons?
Christian Wood was fire the back half of last year. Post Drummond trade, Christian Wood was fire for the Pistons. And if you watch the Pistons, he looked good. It wasn't bullshit. He looked good.
Maybe it's part of a long-term tank because I do think it is weird. Like this next year's draft is going to be super good, and it's funny because if you're like a Knicks fan, I mean, I don't know, I'm not, but I would just feel like fuck. Of all the years we decided to like start winning.
Yeah, but Detroit didn't. First of all, Detroit has Dwayne Casey in his second year.
Yeah,
who is their third year, and who's like get the best out of not that great. So that's not a good tanking coach, right? And then,
no, they definitely aren't trying to tank.
And also, you add you add all these vet minimum not vet minimum play, but you add these like vets that aren't studs who are going to bring up your floor. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense.
Well, all they could do now, though, you're right, and that's what kind of sucks about like getting rewarded for being truly incompetent. But it's like now they could trade Blake. They could trade Jeremy Grant.
Okay. I mean,
I don't know if Blake has any value, but they have pieces they can move.
I'm okay with the Jeremy Grant signing, but okay, you're going to trade him for a good draft pick. Why didn't you just have a bad year and then you could have gotten a good draft pick? You know,
well, they're going to do both. They're going to do both.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. But
have you watched Cade Cunningham play? Have you watched Cade Cunningham?
A little bit. He looks nice, though. He looks really nice.
Sick. They'll ruin him in Detroit.
Isn't it crazy that Detroit was once like an elite franchise? Like,
dude, it's so weird.
For like not just once, but like for two waves of like eliteness within, a decade of each other.
Yeah, I remember watching in like 2007. It was crazy because they had that great starting five, the like Billups, Hamilton, Prince, Wallace, and then they had this second starting five that was like on the bench.
No love for McDyess off the bench. No love for my man McDyess.
I mean, no, it was, but he wasn't in the five.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, they had a second five. Like they had drafted all these people, and it was kind of like this story, and it was like, the Pistons are going to be good for generations. I forget who was in there.
Darko, dude.
Next five, dude.
Wasn't it? It was Darko. Was it Will Bynum?
It was they used to have a guard. It was like Ben something. Maybe I'm just thinking of Ben Gordon, but they had
Ben Gordon, but they signed Ben Gordon to a big contract.
Yeah, that was like him and Villanueva. I forget who they had, but it did not work out. Needless to say, this next five was terrible. But they traded for Iverson.
They drafted Darko. Yeah, but they drafted Darko. Well, I mean, that's really what you're thinking of when they drafted Darko. When they could have had, a number of pretty good players that went right after him.
Well, dude, do you feel like I'm worried because I like Marvin Bagley a lot, but it's starting to feel like he's gonna be Darko in this historic top five?
I mean, Darko was worse than Bagley already's been, though.
I know, but if you just look at, who was the first pick? Fucking dude from Phoenix.
Sorry, yeah. Gosh.
Wait, dude, what's his DeAndre Ayton?
Ayton. Jeez,
he's not like LeBron level, but if you think like Ayton, Luka, Trae Young, Jaren Jackson, and then Bagley, it's kind of like, damn.
It's bad.
But how much of that is being on the Kings? I don't know.
The really bad thing about it is that Luka would have been, that they didn't take Luka because they didn't want to put him next to Fox, allegedly. And Bagley, if the Kings hadn't taken Bagley, from whatever was reported, it seemed like Bagley was going to drop to like 6. And
really?
Yeah, that I remember because Bagley went way higher because Vlade was obsessed. And
yeah, he was just he was like the number one guy. He was like the top prospect. He came out of high school like a year early because Michael Porter Jr. was the number one guy, I think, that year. And then he was able to re-register and go to Duke. And it was like, oh, then he's immediately number one prospect.
And Bagley was really incredible for Duke. I mean, he was really, really good. But I was like, what position does this dude play? That's how I felt. It was like,
Yeah, I actually saw him. A bit of a personal story, but I saw him play in high school, and I thought he was a small forward. I thought he was like a three.
He's
I
not
thought
a
he was
three.
kind of like Kevin Durant. He looked like Kevin Durant, like tall, skinny. I was like, oh, he's like the next KD. Then all of a sudden, I know he's like a power forward. And when you watch him play, he has like his post moves are weird. He has like no touch,
Yeah, I mean,
Like he
I've
makes
watched a
good
few Kings
moves,
games.
but
He doesn't
go
look
on.
good this year. He does not look good this year. I mean, and he's got his dad chirping, and it's like,
Yeah.
but I'm like,
There's that you can tell with people because I feel like I know, like I have no fucking touch if I play. Like even if you make a good move, there's like a softness you have to like lay the ball up. Like Kyrie, like no matter what angle or what he's coming from, and not to say like if you're not Kyrie, good, but you know what I mean. Versus him, it's like a nice putt, and then you just jack it all like hard and shit.
yeah,
People who are trained to like take blows and still lay it in because I think your body, at least maybe I'm just thinking of me. It's like it's like you feel someone like coming at you and you just like launch the ball up, but you have to have this grace.
I think it just really stands out because he's supposed to be like a finesse guy. Like I think that's why it stands out.
So he should just play outside, you think?
Would say play what?
He should play outside, you think?
Yeah,
like,
he should. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, outside the gym. I don't think he should be playing basketball.
yeah, the indoor mixed with him. Well, no, what sucks about the Kings is like they probably should trade him because when you watch, he doesn't close out games. This other guy, I forget, I'm blanking on his name, but
Rashawn Holmes.
Rashawn Holmes, he's good.
Oh, Rashawn Holmes has been good. But Rashawn Holmes like was kicking around the league and was like, why is this guy? He was like on the Sixers. I remember he was like, why is it? He kept kicking around. And then last year he was awesome on the Kings. He was really good on the Kings last year.
Yeah, because there was a game Bagley had 18 at halftime, and then he barely played in the second half. And I was like watching this game, and I was like, fuck, because I bought like 2 Marvin Bagley rookie cards. I was like, he's been injured. He's going to come through this year. I bought super low.
Most of your analysis is just frustration about players whose rookie cards you've owned that are depreciating in value.
Dude, I mean, yeah. It's they need to trade. They need to unleash him. Send him to a bad team so he can rack those stats up. I'm ready to sell, honestly.
Well, you know who is racking stats up is Mr. John Wall, who has looked really nice, dude. Really nice.
Yeah, he looks great. He's put up
great.
like 25 a game?
Did you see Buddy Hield was like, yeah, he was like even like coaching me on the floor and telling me what to do. He looks great. Buddy Hield said that when the Kings played the Rockets. I thought that was really funny.
Oh, no, I didn't.
You're just happy for him because that dude plays really hard, loves basketball, and hasn't been able to do anything in years. Like, I mean, you almost forgot
like
he was
this
in the league.
well-beloved. Yeah.
Do you remember that like transition bucket he had in the playoffs? I can't remember. Was it against the? Do you remember there was like I just remember like there was a moment where I was like, "Are the Wizards? The Wizards are good," and then in the playoffs, and then from there,
Are you talking about the game when he hit the game winner and jumped up on the?
No, I'm talking about it's this
scored?
one specific transition bucket. I wish I could find where he like goes behind the back in traffic and then dunks it. But anyway, I mean, you're just happy because Also, do you remember like the Wall hype? When it would do the John Wall.
Oh, it was huge, and he did the Dougie in his first like game out at the Wizards, and it was like, yes, this awesome guy. He gets like, I don't know what to say, call it, like modern culture. He's like he dances like he's a young guy.
He's like a gamer
cool.
too. He's like plays hard.
He's a blood. He's like everything you're looking for, like a new like celebrity.
Now I'm going to say this, obviously. There's still a lot to be worried. It's only 3 games, and I'm still worried a little bit. But
it's only been 3 games that he's back.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have sworn he's been back for like 2 weeks, just like crushing
he didn't because he missed the beginning of the season. But in those games, I mean, let's look. He's averaging. He's got just over 6 assists, or just over 1 steal. Like a block a game, and then obviously points. He's got 21.3. So I mean, he is showing out, and that team, obviously, the Rockets are a little better than I think we anticipated before the season started.
Yeah, but they're still getting rid of Harden, right?
Do you think they're better this year or last year?
I think they're better probably last year because all the chemistry and like it shit's weird. But I think John Wall is better than Russell Westbrook. And if they had that same, like, I think they're just worn out from last year. If they like came together kind of how they were last year, and with Christian Wood playing center instead of PJ Tucker, like I think it's a better roster this year for sure.
Well, let's pivot to that. Let's pivot to Westbrook. Beal went off tonight. They still lost. I mean,
dude,
I feel. I mean, again, it's real early, but Westbrook, a dude I really like and I really root for,
yeah, he just is bad. I don't know what happened. He's just like this dude. He's like that dude in like middle school who's just like super athletic. He like developed before everyone else, so he's just moving around better than everyone, but he has no feel. He has no feel. It's like he has no feel.
I mean,
anymore. He just chucks dumbass shots.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not even feel. It's not even feel. That's like it's not even feel. It's just bad shots. It's like he pulling up for long. Why is he still pulling up for long twos and threes? Like,
dude, in the game tonight, he pulled up. He bricked one. I feel like Beal didn't even have the ball that much because coming down crunch time, all of a sudden Westbrook he had a turnover where he tried to like lob it to Beal and it was so off, and then he chucked another three and made it, and I was like, that's almost worse. It's like when he makes it, then he's like, all right, I got the green light. You saw I made one like 10 minutes ago, so I'm going to shoot 5 more.
Do you think Beal? What do you make of Bradley Beal's career? Keep in mind, he went off for 60 points tonight, and they still lost to the Sixers, 141 to 136.
I mean, I always thought he was kind of like weirdly overrated, and he seemed like a bust for a while, or he would like get injured a lot, and it was like he was supposed to be the next Ray Allen, and then all of a sudden, he became like one of the best scorers in the league, and like you could plug him into any team.
Also, I mean, in terms of his skill set, which is like basically like lethal 3-point shooting, like a little bit, he can hit some moves off the ball and stuff, but I mean, he's an amazing shooter. He is like Ray Allen. He reminds me of Ray Allen when I watch him play, but it's sort of like we kind of talk about him like he's this superstar, but he's on a really bad team, it seems like, and it's kind of hard. He's third in the league, averaging over 30 points this year. Last year his numbers were insane, and he got that all-star snub. It sort of just feels like it's like a little bit of a waste, and it's impossible to judge until either the Wizards get better or he heads to a contender.
Yeah, I guess I haven't really thought about it, but you're kind of right. It's getting to the point, where it's like if you're that good, should your teams be better?
How many seasons has he been in the NBA?
7?
Guess. This is his 9th year.
It's his 9th year?
Yeah.
Holy shit. How old is he? 28?
27.
27? Okay. I mean, I hope they trade him. I don't know. I was like, maybe they'll be good with Westbrook. I was actually like, thought Westbrook was so bad in the bubble, and then I kind of convinced myself like you're overreacting to the bubble. But watching him, it felt like, oh, the Wizards might actually be pretty tight. Like, Westbrook, we know he's healthy, unlike John Wall, and now it's like, man, they fucked up.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe they should trade him. Maybe the Warriors. Why don't the Warriors go try to get him or go get Harden?
Because the Wizards are too attached. He's their guy.
Well, dude, he needs to pull a Harden or AD.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem like he wants to, but it's just anyway. I guess my overall conclusion is like I don't even know what to make of him. It's like it's possible if Beal was on like the Bucks or something, he'd be amazing in the playoffs. But I just don't know what to make of him. It's just I don't know what to make of him at all. Like.
It's sad that Wall got hurt because it seemed like they were coming together and they were like this backcourt duo, and it was like if they just add some more, they don't even need a third.
They had complementary skills too. They it was not a crazy idea. It wasn't like two like Isaiah Thomases. It was like which would be a nightmare scenario for any franchise.
Yeah. Are you talking? You're talking to the young Isaiah Thomas? Actually, two older Isaiahs. I don't know though.
Do you think one old Isaiah Thomas and one younger Isaiah Thomas? Do you think that would work well as the backcourt duo?
Yeah, I think so because Isaiah Thomas of young is a more score first, and like Isaiah Thomas of old would pass it more.
Yeah,
it depends.
They both need the ball though.
Yeah, that's true. It wouldn't be great. It'd be like, this isn't a perfect fit, but it works.
Okay, how about this? Of people with the same name.
Okay.
Let's say we have the top 5. This is good. I like this idea. Let's say you have the top 5 Isaiah Thomases in the world at like playing basketball. So it's like we got,
Is there more than 2?
But I'm saying out there has to be 3 more Isaiah Thomases, right? Is that the best starting 5 of all 5 people with the same name in the world?
I don't know, just because I'm wondering if there's like 5 people named LeBron James and but having 2 NBA players.
You gotta think. If there are 4 more, they're probably like babies, right? They're probably like little babies.
Yeah, that'd be so strange if there was another LeBron James who's... Well, look, he's been in the league since 2003. So this guy could be 16.
I think...
But that wouldn't be as good. But what about... there must be a bunch of people named like Max Johnson or something, right? Like enough, maybe 3 or 4 NBA
Yeah, but
quality.
I'm saying... You think there's 3 or 4 NBA quality players named Max? I mean, the fact that Isaiah Thomas already has 2 at their peak, like all-star Isaiah Thomases, immediately puts them ahead of anything else. Anyone else?
Okay, yeah. Is there... Okay, but what about... Okay, first of all, it's LeBron James, and then you get Bronny Jr. That's also LeBron James. We forgot about that. Bronny's pretty nice, and he's big now.
Do we count LeBron James Jr.? Because it is different. It's a different name.
It's not. It's his name. It's LeBron James. Isaiah Thomas. I don't know if this is true, but this guy I used to work with, and I'm not going to look it up. But I heard that Q is no. But I heard Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, I heard Isaiah Thomas' dad lost a bet, and he had to name his son Isaiah Thomas. And his last name, their last name is not Thomas. His dad's name's like Dwayne Johnson or something.
That's the Rock.
His dad's the Rock.
Okay, hold on.
No, don't look it up.
I am gonna look it up.
Look it up.
I am gonna look it up.
I was just like,
nice.
that's an insane. Like, I would not follow through on that bet. I'd be like, dude, no, I'm not naming my kid Isaiah Thomas.
Okay, wow. This is per Wikipedia. Born to James Thomas and Tina Baldtrip.
Okay, so it is Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas was named after Detroit Pistons Hall of Fame guard Isaiah Thomas. A lifelong Lakers fan, James made a bet with a friend that his beloved team would defeat the Pistons in the 1989 finals, or he would name his son after decorated Lakers nemesis Isaiah Thomas. The Pistons won in a 4-game sweep, but James had already warmed to the name well before then. His mother consented to it on the condition that it took the biblical spelling. So
I was like, yeah, the fucking mom is like, are you fucking... No, fuck your dumb bet, dude. I'm naming him James or whatever.
I mean, I like how they kind of spun it into like a sweet story, It's like he liked the name. He liked the name.
Well, dude, my mom told me, this is kind of fucked up. It's actually not that fucked up. But my name, Andrew, I think she said like my brother had a dream that she had a son named Andrew because they thought I was going to be a girl. Or I don't know, but I was like, what? That's what? My brother's dream? That's my namesake?
What a ridiculous way to confirm to your brother. Like, your dreams are real.
Yeah. You were right. He was like, oh my God. He was like 5 years old.
Now he's lost his mind and he still keeps saying like, rabbits are going to rain. I don't know. What do people dream about? Besides sex.
No, you're not gonna fuck Mila Kunis. All right.
Yeah, that's still my recurring dream, even today.
Yeah, dude,
still
that
relevant.
70s show, it's still good, man.
I still watch it, dude. I still
Me
watch
too.
it.
It holds up.
Whenever Danny Masterson is on screen, I close my eyes, though.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I don't laugh at anything he says, even though he was my favorite character.
Even though Hyde was the funny one.
Yeah,
Not
growing
anymore.
up, I was like, I'm Hyde for sure. Hyde.
We're all in for Red now.
Yeah, let's go Red. Oh, dude, speaking of sad news, I don't know if you heard, but Donna's mom died.
Yeah, I saw that. That's too bad. That's sad.
Yeah, that was sad. Then it came out that she was still alive, but then she was dead.
Yeah. I believe what happened was that someone was like so upset they said she died, but she wasn't dead. So then they all came out and said she's not dead. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, well, now she's dead, which is like, I mean, pretty horrible for the family. Like, can you imagine? Like, that's horrible. That's horrible. That's what. But I will say, if I die, I do want it to be like a big question mark for a while.
Yeah, and it'd be coming back and forth. Like, no, I saw him at Target the other day. I saw Zander at Target. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Xander was trying to buy a PS5. Like, he's still.
He was like haggling and shit. And the guy was like, I work at Target. We don't haggle.
I swear, man. Yeah. I saw Xander. You said he's dead. I saw him haggling with a Target employee, really treating a Target employee poorly, to be honest with you.
That's Xander. Yep. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's Xander. He's definitely still alive. And then, that night, TMZ's got it. Then I'm dead. All right, let's
Target magazine.
Target magazine. Let's
yeah.
That was really stupid. I pretended like I got it for a second, and then I was like, "No, this is stupid."
I could tell.
That's just good hosting. Pretend like you know it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's do really quick, just real or fake. Let's break down some records and let's see. Let's decide if we think these squads are real or fake based on their records here. All right, Andrew. First ones first here. We've got Philadelphia 76ers, 7-1, best record in the NBA.
I'm going to say real. Xander, as you know, I picked the Sixers in our friends pool. We have a pool of friends. We play Marco Polo. We do a little basketball with the hoop, 6 feet, social distance.
The dolphin game, you ever do that where it's like you have to like swim across and then swim underwater? Yeah, do you know that?
I haven't done that. I've done chicken fights.
Yeah, I've never done that. I was too scared of physical contact with other people.
Chicken fight? Oh, well, that you were ready for COVID. But anyway, no, I picked the Sixers to go to the final. I think the Sixers are good, and I believe it's real. I feel like Embiid right now, he's having his 2000 Shaq season. So when the Lakers hired Phil Jackson, Shaq like got into shape. He was like, I really want to impress this guy. This is for real. I wanted Phil. We had Del Harris. I didn't like him at all. I don't know if he liked Dale Brown. Dale Brown? What the fuck? Brett Brown. Yeah. But Embiid seems like he actually showed up like in shape. He's like ready to go. And they got Seth Curry is like, he's just such a good shooter on their team. They do have Danny Green, which is unfortunate, but he can hit a shot every now and then. And Tobias, like Doc has got his thing with Tobias going again. And Simmons is playing lockdown. Oh, I have a theory for you, but tell me.
Go ahead. No, what's your theory?
Do you think Ben Simmons is actually like Draymond Green? Should he be playing like Draymond?
I like that theory. He has why not?
Because he's like locked down.
He can guard all 5 positions.
He can guard all 5. He can't fucking shoot at all. The only problem is he doesn't have that dog in him. Like you watch Ben Simmons play, and you're like, does he like even care that this game? He looks like he's kind of like.
That's what's insane. The dude is averaging 13.3 points, 9.9 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Yeah,
like,
and he looks very ho-hum. He's very ho-hum.
I will say, I think that I don't know if they'll be the top team in the East, but I think they're really good. I think Doc Rivers is a professional coach. Like, he knows what to do, Like,
and they needed a new voice in there.
Totally. I mean, look, I don't know anything about Brett Brown, like, personally, or in the, I'm just a guy. But isn't it a good idea to bring somebody else in who's not been like attached to them since the tank? Somebody who has like new ideas and stuff. Because when you watched the Sixers last year, remember, it was so weird. It was like we got to the bubble and we were like, I just knew they were going to be bad. Like that's insane.
Well, there was the Shake Milton hype, but as soon as that died down.
Yeah, but I mean, we knew they weren't going to win their playoff series. Like, that is ridiculous for a team that has Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and Ben Simmons.
Yeah. Well, what's weird is, and Ben Simmons got hurt.
Yeah,
but they were still so deep. And maybe I just watched too much Lakers and like.
You're right. He did get hurt.
The Lakers team was not deep at all, and it made a bunch of these kind of, what do you call them? Not like bottom feed, but like nobody on the Lakers team that won the title last year would start on any like other playoff team, would they?
Wait, say that again. Nobody on the Lakers team
would start on like another playoff team.
Probably. I mean, Danny Green.
I get maybe Danny Green. I don't know, but you wouldn't be excited. Well, basically, it's kind of random, but like the Sixers team, even after Simmons got hurt, it's like they had Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris. You still had Embiid.
Tybal.
You had Al Horford. You got Tybal. Like all of those players would immediately be the third best player on the Lakers. Mike Scott. And they were deep.
I mean, that's a little bold. But I mean, like some of the
who wouldn't have been? Who's better on the Lakers team than any of those players I just mentioned?
I mean, depends what you think of Kuz. Or
maybe Tybal. Maybe you take Tybal over him. Markieff Morris. If I said your team can have one of these players, Tobias Harris, Josh Richardson.
Oh yeah, I mean obviously Josh Richardson. I mean your point stands. Like they're better. They're deeper.
The roster was deep and they were terrible. It was like Brett should have been gone the year before.
He should have been gone the year before.
And now they have a coach. Now they got Doc. I don't know.
So all right, sounds like we both think that we think the Sixers are for real. Okay, next one. Let's go the other side of the East. Raptors are 1-6.
Yeah, the Raptors are weird because I would just slot them into the playoffs. Nothing about it. I mean, they lost Ibaka, they lost Gasol, but they just look like shit.
This is their first year like this in like 6 years. Like it's been a long time since they've started not well. You know, they've always been a really consistent regular season team.
Yeah, I wonder if they've just been really like holding together by the seams or whatever that expression is, and now they're just like, we can't do this anymore. Like, we're not that good.
Okay, their losses are 2: Pelicans, Spurs, Sixers, Pelicans, Celtics, Suns, and they beat the Knicks. So those are all good
teams. Yeah, those are all good teams except Spurs.
I mean, the Spurs are kind of, but like they're. I think that losing Ibaka and Gasol, that's a pretty big chunk of your big man rotation.
Yeah, I think Siakam, like, I don't know, I haven't really watched the Raptors, but is Siakam still like in his head about the bubble?
Can you name one big on the Raptors other than Siakam, if you consider Siakam a big?
Vince Carter.
Yeah.
Big Tracy McGrady. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, fuck yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Here's their center depth chart. Aaron Baines starting, who had a really nice year last year.
Oh.
Chris Boucher, Alex Len. Chris Boucher is a good story. He came out of the G League and he was like, I think he was homeless. There's like a nice little Vice Sports or somebody did.
That's like a good like NBA draft story or something.
Yeah,
NFL draft.
But my point is like, that's their bigs, man. Like that's not optimal.
Yeah, it is weird how big men have become important again. Maybe they always kind of were, but
I mean, I guess what I'm saying, like Aaron Baines is good. My point is just like that's new guys coming in, and it's not like stud. And Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka are like two pros who what you're going to get every single night.
And they knew that system. I guess Gasol just got there. Wait, was Gasol there for a? Yeah, he was there for the year.
But I mean, you look at the rest of the lineup. It's like Lowry. The starting lineup is Lowry, Van Vliet, Anunoby, Siakam, Baines. I think they're still probably going to make the playoffs. I actually think they'll still pick it up, but it's
in the East. That's a good roster.
Yeah, Terrence Davis, Norman Powell. I mean,
Maybe Lowry's one of the oldest guys in the league. I didn't even realize, but
I know,
he's
it's
kind of
crazy.
old as fuck.
You remember when he was chubby?
Oh yeah, I feel like he's still kind of chubby.
He's still kind of, but I mean, he's a. There was a while where it was like Lowry is a bad attitude dude who's like gonna get kicked around all the bad teams. Like that was the vibe on him for years.
He kind of was for a while.
Yeah, I would say I think that the Raptors are not that good. I don't think they're very good, but I think they will make the playoffs.
Well, you know what's weird about Lowry? He was just good enough to like not actually be that good, so he wasn't in the Kawhi trade. But now he will go down in history like as being better than DeRozan because of winning that title.
But the whole reason he was over DeRozan, I would take him over DeRozan in a heartbeat.
I don't know. I guess so, but like the Spurs wanted DeRozan if they're good. Like if he was better than DeRozan, they would want Lowry.
That trade was
stupid. But DeRozan's
a
better just like score. I mean, I don't know. It was just a dumb trade because the Spurs
DeRozan's
didn't
want to
rebuild.
But it's like, dude, you can get DeRozan. I'm not like no shade on DeRozan here or anything, but DeRozan's skill set is not that unique. Whereas like Lowry is like a full-fledged point guard with a nice jump shot who can come through in big game moments.
But did you feel that way until they won the title? Because I feel like the rap was always like they weren't good enough. Lowry wasn't good enough.
I'm sorry, I always liked Lowry, but yeah, I mean, it's obviously when you win a ring, it's like everything changes. But
that's what I'm saying. But I feel like it was always like DeRozan was the best player, Kyle Lowry was the second best player. Neither of them can beat LeBron. They just every year they would lose to the whatever team LeBron was on. I guess just the Cavs.
But still, in terms of skill set, you could move Lowry to almost any team, and he'd fit in. Whereas DeRozan, it's like, who really wants a volume scorer?
Well, like that? I don't know. Yeah, DeRozan just doesn't have a three.
That's what I'm saying. It's long range twos. He needs the ball. The ball doesn't move. Yeah. All right, let's keep going though. Suns 5-2. I'll just kick this off. I think it's real. Yeah. I was in on the Suns at the beginning of the year. I think Chris Paul that team looked really good. I thought it was legit. I think they're young. I actually think a lot of people were concerned about DeAndre Ayton's character. It doesn't seem like that's an issue at all. And they got a lot of young dudes, and now they got Chris Paul. Did you see the video of DeAndre Ayton when right after he found out that they were getting Chris Paul?
No, what did he do?
He was just like so stoked he could barely contain himself. He was like, "We got Chris Paul, we got CP3. Like
it's about to be Lob City."
Right. Gotta just get Blake Griffin and DeAndre here. Trade me.
Yeah.
But no, I think they're good, and they got a bunch of good players.
They're low key really deep. Mikal Bridges. Yeah. Am I saying the right Bridges brother? Are they brothers? You know Bridges in Charlotte?
Yeah, we had two Bridges in that draft.
Yeah.
He's
funny
been
thing
good,
about, dude. He's good. Yeah. The one on the Suns. He's like every time I watch a Suns game, he's like drilling threes. I'm like, is he like better than?
He's kind of 3-and-D. He's kind of 3-and-D.
And what's his name? Johnson from UNC.
Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson, dude, they're deep. Actually, I bet there's a lot of guys named Cameron Johnson who played basketball.
That's true.
I'd put that up there.
You know who else is on that team? Dario Saric.
Oh yeah, dude, that's a deep roster.
Yeah, but Jay Crowder, he can play. Their starting five is CP3, Booker, Bridges, Crowder, and Ayton, and then they have Cam Johnson, Dario Saric off the bench. They also have Frank Kaminsky, Etuan Moore, Jalen Smith, Langston Galloway, Campaign, Javon Carter. It's just a good team. It's
just a good best team. Starting? That's probably maybe it's the second best starting five after the Lakers. Would you say in the league?
The
Clippers. Well, I don't know.
Clippers, healthy Mavs, Bucks.
You would take the healthy Mavs starting five just over that five.
Okay, Luka would be the best.
Yeah.
KP
Booker's
would
second.
be. What? Who? Booker second. KP
second.
would be.
fifth.
I mean, I guess it depends what you think
know.
of like Hardaway and who's starting for. Is it Kleba? Is Kleba still starting for them or Dwight Powell?
Yeah, it's a bunch of random. I think Hardaway might come off the bench for them actually. I don't know why I think that.
Well, anyway, it's a good. My point is, I think it's for real. I think that they're going to be good.
Either way, that's one of the best started. Like,
Yeah.
it's beyond just the CP3 Ayton Booker thing. They're like a well-rounded. Like every night, someone different on that team is
and
playing
like
well.
they seem to have a good coaching situation. I mean, I think they're for real. I think they're really for real.
You think they'll be top 4?
Yeah, I do. I thought so at the beginning. I drafted them in our little pick'em thing. I think that they're going to be top 4 seed. There's CP3 is honestly become very underrated. It's like that dude is amazing at basketball.
No, he is. He's just had bad injury luck.
You can also rest him. The Suns can afford to rest him and still.
They
not
really
drop.
need to, especially with that roster being that deep. I mean,
let's keep moving here. Warriors 4-3. Now, Andrew, I know you told me before this that really shocking after their 0-2 start. So I'm looking forward to seeing sort of the yo-yo of you from your ridiculous expectations after a handful of games over.
You know, when you have a generational talent like Stephen Curry, and you're going to make the playoffs. No, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't know, man.
I do.
There's just too many good teams in the West.
Yeah, but Draymond's playing well.
Yeah, for now. He'll might get hurt again.
I think they're for real. I think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna be I think they're gonna like squeak into the playoffs. Keep in mind, 10 teams.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess if you're thinking top 10, yeah, it's such a weird thing. It's like, oh, does that mean you made the playoffs if you're like the 9th seed and then you lose?
I think what I think is going to happen is that eventually they're going to expand so that only one team in each conference don't get in, and then they'll just have the GMs of those two teams rock paper scissors for the first pick instead of doing like a whole lottery.
That would make you. Would that make you tank? It depends on how good your GM is at rock paper scissors. Because I saw this theory recently that was like when you rock paper scissor and you got to look at their hand. If their hand doesn't move, they're going rock. If you see their hand move a little bit, you got to go scissors, because that means they're either going scissors or paper, so you'll tie or.
Oh, that's smart. My rule is I usually win. I would say I win rock paper scissors 3 out of 4 times, I would say. And
what's your strategy?
I always throw rock. People always do scissors. They always do scissors.
It is fun to make scissors.
For whatever reason, it's like, I think paper is weird. Paper is weird. Bless you. Bless your heart.
Yeah, paper is just like, what are we doing?
What are you doing?
Paper? Come on.
I'm like, so I'm not going to get papered. So, and they always, I'm not kidding. I usually win. Like I think maybe like 80% of the time I win.
Always going rock. Well, I know what to do when I play you now. So
yeah, or maybe I'll remember. It depends. Like, maybe.
So you'll remember. So then you'll do scissors. Oh, maybe you're playing mind games right now.
Yeah, you're not going to sleep tonight. All right, cool. Nope. Last team. This is the one I'm sure the audience has been waiting for. The 1-7 Pistons.
I gotta say, it feels like that might stick. It feels like that might. Sort of be what's the fucking word? Emblematic of what's to come.
Really
up in the Motor City. Yeah.
Really good word, Andrew.
It seems like an empanada of what's happening.
I think that's pretty empanada of what the rest of the season's going to look like.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be bad. It's weird for because everybody shit on their off season, and I'm always skeptical of everybody shits on something. It's like they're probably not gonna, they're arrogant, probably not gonna be right. But I didn't like their off season.
Well, look, I'll say this: their off season was weird, but to me, I was like, they signed so many these guys are decent enough. And I believed Blake might still have a little. I was like, they'll probably be middle of the road team.
All right, here's what I'll say: don't you think they'll sell off the team, like all the players?
Now, yeah, but I don't think that was their plan.
If you start like 1-10 or 2-10, get rid of, try. I don't know if anybody will take Blake, but move Blake, move D Rose. There's a lot of teams that would take D Rose.
I forgot they had D Rose. Fuck, what a waste. He's been pretty good there.
He's been. I mean, everybody thought he would get moved at the deadline. People were thinking he might end up on the Lakers
right?
year.
Oh, that would have been cool, but whatever.
Yeah. So my thought would be, if they
is Blake's deal up after this year, or does he have one more year?
I think he
might have one more.
No,
but it's not that bad anymore. Is it done after? If it's after this year, they could.
Who, Derrick Rose?
No, Blake.
Oh, I think Blake has one more year on his deal.
Either way, that's all of a sudden like not a horrible contract.
Let's see. He has loading. Okay, he signed a 5-year deal in 2017, so he's through 2022.
So that's next season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's really that good anymore. That's the problem. He's probably if he came off the bench for like the Blazers, I've been thinking like, why don't the Blazers do something? Or the Kings, Bagley for
they're linked. They're linked to every power forward. It feels like.
Because Zach Collins got hurt again. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's like
that's
damn.
sad.
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah, I think, you could absolutely... I'm just trying to confirm that these websites, they ain't loading. But here we go.
Okay. Switch to the phone. Shit.
Well, we're having problems here with the internet. I mean, for whatever reason, Roto World and Sport Track are not loading. Okay, here we go.
Maybe they're down, dude.
Actually, so he's got a player option for $38.9 million next season.
Yeah, I'm going to guess he might pick that up. Well, I don't. Yeah, you'd think, right, until Gordon Hayward opts out and gets 4 years, 130.
But... Yeah, but he's not. I mean, it's like, you also wonder, you're like, Blake, don't you want to have one more good? Don't you want to actually? I guess it's just who could. We'd have to do some cap math, but I don't know who could absorb that. Who could take it? What about the Knicks?
It'd be very Knicksian, but I think they're trying to stray away from doing weird shit like that now.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's expiring next season.
Yeah, and they don't have Giannis. They don't have the Giannis.
Giannis isn't coming.
I
don't know.
Maybe they don't need him. They got Randall playing power forward. Unless he comes off the bench, but he could be like a huge.
I'm just trying to say, who would, who could potentially who's fringy and can afford to sort of punt on this off season?
The Jazz. I don't know if they have room.
No, and they also they kind of got some bit. What about
that Gobert contract is fucking. It's one of those as soon as they sign it, it's like, oh, I know. God.
Okay, let's see. Really quick, I'm gonna just trade machine this really quick.
Okay.
So Blake Griffin to Portland for let's say Zach Collins and picks. Let's see if that works. Trade failed.
Damn.
You'd have to cut. You'd have to move a lot of
weird stuff.
Yeah, and you'd have to move. It wouldn't work. You'd have to trade.
They could do Nurkic or something, but then that's kind of why would you do that?
Yeah, they're not even gonna. I don't see that working. They're not going to change. They're not going to trade Simons or Nasir Little. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe the contract's just too big. Do
you think the Kings are going to start firing people off? I say random stuff, but if you watch the Kings, Buddy Hield, I like Buddy Hield, but sometimes it's just what are you doing, man? Maybe they just need to get rid of him. I feel bad for Fox.
I love De'Aaron Fox. I love watching De'Aaron Fox play.
Dude, me too. He's so good, but that team is just like, God damn.
They're a cursed
but I
franchise.
like Buddy Hield too. But sometimes he just takes shots, and you're just like, he's just
they got
not
Luke
that
Walton,
tight.
and they got Vivek, and Stauskas. They're just, dude. These teams like that, it's truly like organizational failure.
Yeah, I don't know how you fix that.
All right, so I guess we're saying the Pistons are for real bad. All right, Andrew, I think that takes us to the end here. That's our little Mr. Sports Midweek NBA update, early season check-in. Do you have anything else you want to mention there?
No, I do want to check in and say that Sacramento, both of those games did end up having points scored after we talked about it. But
I put a lot of money on that.
I did as well, and now I sold off all my Bitcoin, put it into that. But Sacramento did win. Is XRP up? Dude, yeah. I felt kind of dumb because I sold my XRP and I was like, shit, it's up like 10, 15%.
But you know what's up is, for real though, Bitcoin's way up.
Just regular Bitcoin. Part of me is like, shit, I should have my whole fortune in there.
This has been Mr. Sports. I've been Zander.
I've been Andrew.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Bitcoin, baby.
Bitcoin.